Hello. Um, my name is Amira, and I quit my job about 2 weeks ago. And it was my dream job at one point because I don't know, let's just kind of get into it. Um, when I was at Home Depot, which was a stable job, and I loved it, it was nice pay and everything. I stopped working there because a customer talked to me and my coworkers crazy and was calling us monkeys and throwing at racial slurs. Mind you, she was black as well. And I stood up for me and my coworkers and I was like, well, ma'am, I think this is inappropriate. I don't think you should be calling us that. And she was calling us the help and everything. And she was like, well, that's what you are. You're the help. So standing up for me and my coworkers, mind you, we called managers and they did not respond. Not in time. And we kept saying it's an emergency at the service desk. There's an emergency. We need a manager right away. Nobody came. And it kept escalating. So I tried to stop it. And she told me to my face, I call your manager. I get people fired. That's what I do. Manager came, end of the day. But that day I knew that they were going to fire me. And believe it or not, they did fire me. And I fought for my job back, got my job back, but then I ended up with a stalker at that same Home Depot. Told management about it. They didn't do anything about it. The man kept following me. I finally called the police on him while he was there at Home Depot. And that's when I realized I couldn't do it anymore. Then a family friend came from Tennessee, offered me a job at her store. I went, my first fashion job. I went, and she was nice. Everything was nice. But the two girls that I worked with, it was very not nice. It was fine up until a certain point. I thought everything was cool. I even checked in with them. I tried to see if there was any tensions before we left. Every day I would ask them, all right guys, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Anything that happened today that you want to make anybody aware of? They always said no. And they said no for about a week straight. So after a certain point, I stopped asking because I figured there was nothing wrong. But we had a store meeting, and I like to call that meeting the annihilation of my character because that's exactly what it was. Mind you, I was the only black person that worked there. And these two girls kind of teamed up together and defended each other where I had to defend myself. And they kept calling me defensive and aggressive, all the microaggressions you can think of. And they're like, you always have an attitude and this, that, and the third. And I was like, I never have an attitude. I love working here. I never have an attitude when I'm working here. They're like, well, we would ask you questions or we try to help you with something and you would get mad. And I told them if I need help with something, I would let you know if I need help. But there really wasn't anything I needed help with. But that day literally tore me apart. And it happened in April. Something always happens in April. That happened in April of 2023. It was disheartening. I should have went home. I should have left Tennessee. But I knew if I left and went back home that it meant they won and they wanted me out of there. So kind of gathered myself, doubled down, and I stayed until I graduated college, I was doing it online, but I stayed until I graduated college, came back home, and was job hopping from June or July to December. And it was tough, I'm not gonna lie. A registration fee to get a job. They wanted I was doing everything. I was a janitor. I was cleaning up poop from adults who don't know how to use the bathroom. I worked at Ross customer service. Horrible. Like, I have a very big issue with people feeling entitled and think they can talk to me any kind of way. So I'm going to stand up for myself. I'll do it in a nice way at first, but if it escalates, then it's going to get ugly. I'm not going to let anybody disrespect me. I don't do that. A lady disrespected me at Ross and thought she worked there. She didn't. She didn't have a badge on. And told my manager something that I did. The manager was like, oh, she's new. And the lady was like, oh, well, come over here so we can teach her so she can learn. I didn't let that slide at all. At all. Worked at Ross, worked at Dave & Buster's as a janitor, hated it. And I did like other jobs too, but it was only to pay the bills. And it was a little draining because I just wanted to work in fashion. I wanted to do fashion. And it got to a point where my friend got me in at Racetrack. Cool. Racetrack was fine for some months until it was fine for some months until like some girl, she got hired there. And I should have known it was going to be a problem later down the line because the first thing she said to me when we met was, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You have such high cheekbones. And she was pointing out like all this minuscule stuff that I never really like cared to look at about myself. And that was a red flag to me because I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. But when I tell you, since that day, since she got there, I had an issue out of this girl. Every time, every day. Because she would come to work and she would be all hee hee ha ha, hey guys, oh my god, so nice, happy. But then when you would like give her a task to do or something like that, she'd mumble and curse under her breath. And we were like, oh wait, hold on. Long story short, we had two situations, me and her. I went to the manager about them. I told the girl about them. And I told my manager, please do not let it get to a third time. Third time, things are going to happen. I told you the first time, this is the second time. I need you to do something. Either don't schedule us together or put me on a different shift, something. And that's a recurring theme throughout my life. The people who are supposed to do their job don't do their job. It was a big altercation. She was cussing at me in front of the customers, yelling, and my adrenaline was pumping. It was pumping real bad. Ended up leaving Racetrack, and I got hired at my first real fashion job. And it was my dream job at the time because I wasn't working in fashion, and it was something that I really, really wanted to do. I applied for it knowing it was far from my house, but I did it anyway. And I got it. So I was proud of myself and I was really happy. It made me realize what I wanted to do in fashion specifically. Yeah, I love styling, but I think I more so love visual merchandising, and I like styling without a sales goal in mind. And that's what I had to do every day. Commission. I had to sell at least 8 items. Like, I just wanted to style people, make them look good. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about how much money I had to make for the day. I didn't care about how many items she walked out with. I didn't care about anything like that. As long as I put a smile on somebody's face and we both love the idea that we came up with, I'm okay with that. My manager's that wasn't enough. It's not enough at that job. So I loved it for about a year. And then I told them I was getting bored. I was like, hey, I'm gonna need something else. Like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So they promoted me. Love that. But honestly, ever since then, I've been like living off my credit cards. Ever since I got promoted, I've been stressed out. And I even had to take medication because of the job, because of the stress and everything. And that should have been a red flag in itself. But I was like, oh, I can make something good out of this. But the longer it went on, it wasn't right no more. And no matter how many times I would talk to my managers or say I needed a raise or say I need this to happen or say I want to do this and not this politely. My needs weren't being met. They weren't. And I felt like I was a joke by corporate. Even though we were cool, even though they flew me out to Indiana to do visual merchandising at the Indiana location, when a recommendation was given to me, somebody recommended me to go to another store. They didn't take it seriously. And I knew I worked my behind off when I told my managers that, hey, I want to do strictly this, me doing this and this together. Doing this will take time from this. And if I do this, then this isn't going to get done. So if you want me to do both, I'm going to need either a raise or we take one of these away and I just focus on this. Neither of those were an option. What they decided to do was hire somebody for the position that I wanted. So that way I couldn't do this anymore and had to focus on this. And I was like, but this is what I wanted to do. You told me that wasn't an option. And yet it was, because you hired two people to do it. And whether that was within their power or not, I don't know. But the fact that I wasn't vouched for was kind of like a slap in my face. I'm not going to lie. So after that day, I just kind of hated being there. And it was depressing to go to work every day. And it was no longer my dream job. It wasn't. And I put my 2 weeks in on New Year's Eve. And now it's been a week after my last day. And honestly, I've been feeling good. It's been fine. It felt like a move God told me to do, so I can finally get the rest and relaxation that I needed. And I've been focusing on my hobbies. I never had time to do that. Focusing on my hobbies, focusing on content. I've been focusing on cleaning, finally. Cleaning my clothes, washing my clothes, cleaning my room, getting things in order. And still looking for jobs, even though the job market is trash right now. Been applying for everything. I applied for McDonald's today. I've been applying for fashion adjacent things, visual merchandising jobs, brand coordinator jobs, fashion marketing coordinator, like literally the things that I'm good at. I've been applying for. I also applied for tasking agencies, temp agencies, but it feels like there's certain things that aren't lining up. If I try to do like a tasking agency or try to apply for a job, there's like always something that prevents me from applying, whether it's a connection issue or a button on the application doesn't work, or they want me to wait to be verified, or they want me to upload a registration fee so that way I can get the job. Like it's been like foolishness. And the jobs that I really, really want, I'm hoping that I get these that I applied for today, earlier this week. I'm hoping I get those, but we don't know. I'm not going to put any doubt in the air. We're not going to do that, but I just hope that I get them. And I've been working on myself. I'm not going to lie. I've been working on my portfolio. I've been working on my website. I've been working on my spec decks. I've been working on my fashion realm and getting it out there. Brand coordinator, that somebody hit me up. They wanted me to revamp their social media. That's great. I opened up an online store. I'm selling my purses on there, selling clothes on there. That's great. I've been trying to oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I've been trying to get my UGC portfolio together so I can do that. So I have different avenues, but recently it just feels like that effort I'm putting in is not enough by the people I care about. And it sucks because you would want support from the people around you who are close to you. And sometimes you don't get it, and you have to be okay with that. And I'm coming to terms with trying to be okay with that. But it's hard, I'm not gonna lie. And it's kind of to a point where if something good does happen, when something good does happen, and I'm in a better position, I don't really want to share that with a lot of people who I thought were close to me. I don't want to do that. I also want to leave Georgia. I'm tired of being in Georgia. I'm tired of Atlanta. I just want to be in New York. I thought LA at first, but I want to be in New York. I want to leave Atlanta so bad. It's not giving me any room to grow. I've been here my entire life. It's not the vibe for me anymore. It's not. The fashion jobs in Atlanta are not it. They're not. And I applied to a lot. I feel like New York is really where I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to Fashion Week, so we're going to see what that looks like. We're going to see what that feels like. I'm only going to be there for a day. I'm literally taking a day flight, like a day trip. We're going to see what that's like, and I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. I kind of hope my life works out before my birthday, which is February 28th. So we'll see what happens. I just want things to go well, and I want my effort to be noticed. I want my creativity to be noticed. I want my skills to be noticed, because they deserve to be, and I deserve that. I deserve good things. I deserve what is best for me, and what is meant for me will come to me, despite what anybody else may think. So yeah, I have my manifestation journal, my prayer journal, whatever you want to call it, and I've just been writing in there every good thing that I'm feeling, because I'm tired of feeling bad for myself. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of being sad. I grew up with anxiety my entire life. I've been afraid of what ifs and all this fear and stuff. I'm tired of that. I want to be happy. I want to be happy without medication, without escitalopram. I want to be happy without medicine. I want to be happy genuinely by myself, proud of myself, and see the fruits of my labor. I don't think that's too much to ask for, but we shall see. Life is strange, but we shall see what happens.